Hey everybody, welcome to Recovery Lab TV. My name is Chris, I'm your coach, and today I'm going to show you all the equipment that I use for my open water swimming. Okay, as you can see, I've got my famous pink bucket with me, and in there I kind of store all my open water swimming equipment, my gear, and I just find it really easy to kind of transport it from place to place, chuck it in the boot. Keeps everything dry, keeps everything wet, and kind of doesn't ruin my car in the process. Okay, so before we get into it, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button, give the video a little like, don't forget to share it with your friends, and subscribe. By all means, become a part of our community. Okay, we'd love to have you. So getting into it, my Dryrobe. Okay, I've got a little pillowcase for it, so when I go kind of traveling or kind of camping and things like that, it's a brilliant way of storing a Dryrobe. For those who don't know, Dryrobe is literally exactly that. Like, it's a giant robe that you kind of chuck on inside. It's got a big old fleece lining, keep you all dry, and literally keeps you waterproof, windproof, can zip you up. It allows you to get change kind of when you're in car parks, at the side of beaches. Gives you a little bit of privacy because they're kind of oversized coats. But one of the best things I've ever bought is this. So it's kind of like super warm. It's windproof, rainproof, waterproof, you name it, bulletproof, and kind of really kind of sets the tone up. So to be honest, this is probably one of my best ever buys in regards to events, life, camping, supporting my kids, playing football, being outside, walking in the rain, you name it, dog walking. It's absolutely brilliant. So this is probably a really good investment. Other things that I'd recommend are, I've recently bought, or tell a lie, I was recently given one of these. It's called a Go Dry. It's a wetsuit hanger. It's an absolute lifesaver. Completely keeps your wetsuit, basically stops it from tearing when you're kind of drying up. These little suck pads kind of stick to your shower wall, and literally just kind of hangs your wetsuit over the top. Stops it kind of getting any creases, any tears, any rips or damages, and just does the job. Like, literally hangs your wetsuit up, all your wet clothing. I've recently bought another one of these, so now I have two, because I just think they're awesome, in the sense, because before I was using kind of a conventional clothes hanger, and what that kind of leads to do, it kind of damages the wetsuit. So I'd fully recommend these. They're relatively cheap. All of the equipment I put up on this video, I'm gonna put links in the bio. So if there's any kind of thing that you kind of fancy the eye of, what I'll do is put all the links in the description below. Okay, so Go Dry hanger. Swimming in the winter especially, you're going to kind of need, potentially, depending on how hardcore you potentially are, if you're new to it, if you're kind of just getting into it, whether you kind of want to be a skin swimmer. By skin swimmer I mean literally swimming in your bathers, in your skin. Those typical individuals will kind of lose the socks, lose the gloves. So it's completely an individual preference. If you want to just go in your bathers, if you want to go in a wetsuit, whether you want gloves, whether you want boots, correction socks. What I will say is, when you're just starting, there are wetsuit boots out there. These are the hoop wetsuit socks. If you're a swimmer, go for the socks over the boots. Okay, I've had a few people buy the boots in our open water swims. What it does, it kind of really drags your feet down and makes it really hard for you. Okay, so the socks are brilliant because they don't mess around with your buoyancy. The gloves, especially coming into this kind of time of the year, from now until typically British weather until maybe February, coming into March. It just gets colder and colder, and last year we kind of dropped down to about 4 degrees swimming. We swim all year round, and it's kind of one of those things that sometimes you kind of might want to feel your fingers and toes, depending on how you acclimatise to the water and your level of experience. Okay, we're all individuals, and it all comes down to personal preference. Don't allow anybody to pressure you into, oh, you shouldn't wear this, you shouldn't wear that. You got to take your own body into your thought process, you know, and kind of do what makes you happy. You know, if you prefer those and it makes the whole experience a little bit more enjoyable, do that. You know, don't let anybody kind of pressure you into just, oh yeah, it's not hardcore, it's not this, it's not that. Be you. Okay, so when I first started, this little bag was a lifesaver in literally and physically. It's a zone-free kind of bag. What you do, you inflate them. You dump all your keys in there, it keeps everything dry in there, you roll it up, and then clip it together, and it then becomes this kind of inflatable buoy. So if you're ever going to get yourself into trouble, although it's not a life-saving device and it's not branded and marketed as that, it can give you a little bit of a respite and a little something to kind of feel safer in the water. And give you a bit of guidance if you are in trouble, although I will say it is not a life-saving device, so just be careful when you open water swimming groups. Come down and join us with our group, and this will help give you that confidence that you might need, you know. Okay, so that's kind of a dry bag and a flotation device. Naturally, this is just a kind of silicone swim cap. They keep your head warm and they help with hydrodynamics, so cutting through the water. Initially, when I first started, I never wore swim caps in the sense of previously swimming in the pool, in the sea and racing and all the rest of it. If you do want to get into the habit of racing, I fully recommend you wear one all the time, just because it'll get your head used to wearing swim caps, and then it becomes like almost a second skin. It does make a difference in regards to kind of head temperature and keeping your head warm. And a great tip is when you get out of the sea, don't take your swim cap off until you're literally ready to rub your head with your towel, and then put like a kind of nice warm beanie on, just because then that'll help keep you warmer. Stop you losing so much kind of heat through your head, and kind of really bring your temperature back up afterwards, especially going into winter swimming. So, mentioning towels, I've got this massive Zogs, if you're into surfing, massive Zogs towel. It is absolutely huge, and it's probably one of my favourite towels that I own, just because how big it is. It's super soft, super kind of thick, if you will, and to me it's kind of everything you kind of need in a towel, especially sea swimming, wrapping yourself up warm, kind of getting it all done, and yeah, so basically a beach towel. For those who know me will know I kind of live in Vivo barefoot shoes. These were probably my first ever Vivo barefoot shoe. I've had a million people take the mick out of me because of these shoes, but honestly I embraced it and I absolutely love them. They're amazing for before swimming, after swimming. As you can tell, I've kind of fully worn mine in. They're a bit dirty, but I wear them for everything, literally. And the great thing is, it's kind of got a stretchy pad on. You slide your wet feet in. So nowadays, with me coaching a lot down Whitmore Bay, I've kind of, if I'm running around or whatever, I'll slide these on. Wet feet, dry feet, with my neoprene socks on some mornings, and literally it doesn't matter if they're wet or dry, because they literally will dry out, and they're kind of made out by bloom algae, so they're really good for the environment as well. But yeah, check them out, Vivo barefoot shoes. From there, another Dryrobe purchase, probably one of the best purchases I've bought recently. I didn't used to have one. They're kind of like these little square kind of foot mats. Coming up to colder times like now, going into the winter and everything, for those who swim on a regular basis will know the concrete gets absolutely freezing. Sometimes it's not like the water is colder, but sometimes the water's warmer than the actual floor temperature. So walking to the water and back from the water, it's actually really hard on your feet sometimes, you know. And sometimes shoes, flip-flops, Vivos, they're brilliant for getting you from there to there, you know. Drying afterwards, however, it's nice to have something warm and fluffy, literally to stand on your feet, because when you swam for an hour in the sea and your feet are freezing, it's really nice to stick your feet on a kind of super warm sheep wool towel, if you will, and then you can just literally wrap it back up, dump it there, and then chuck it back in your bucket like I do, you know. I use Speedo competitive kind of fast skin elite mirrored goggles. To be honest, there's a million goggles out there, as we all know. My belief is finding one that fits your head, that makes you feel comfortable, that kind of makes you feel like you're not kind of necessarily wearing any goggles. These I've had, I've used this goggle for years, probably about 6 to 8 years, if not longer. And anytime they break, I lose them or whatever, I pretty much buy the exact same pair, maybe a different color. But yeah, I've just found that it fits me perfectly. It fits the type of narrow shape of my head. And yeah, what I'd probably recommend is kind of try on a fair few goggles, you know, and then find one that fits you and just stay with that brand, stay with that type of goggle, because honestly, it does make a difference, you know. Then kind of what I typically wear under my wetsuit is literally just swimming jammers. So these are kind of like Nike Zone swimming jammers. They're giant fluorescent pink and blue, because it's nice to make a bold statement sometimes. And yeah, I'm that guy in regards to sometimes I'll just wear these and I won't wear any wetsuits, like I did the other week for one of our newest guys that came down. He didn't have a wetsuit, so I didn't want him to be on his own, so I just wore those. For me, it's nice. I wear bright colors, one, so it can be seen in the sea, so there is some reason to it, and two, just because I think it's nice to stand out sometimes, you know, and go against the grain. So yeah, those are my swim shorts. A must for me, especially going down the beach all the time on my own and doing a lot of coaching, is waterproof car key bags, right? This is a company called Overboard. It's literally just a lock bag. These little kind of mechanisms slide across, and then that's completely waterproof. I use this pretty much every time I go sea swimming. It just allows me to keep my car key nice and dry, because I've got an electric car key like most of us nowadays. And yeah, they're really worth having. So I stopped swimming with this bag a number of years ago, purely just out of personal preference. I don't advise against it. Like it's completely up to you. And like this video, all these is my personal recommendations. By all means, add in the comments on the type of equipment you use, whether you use any of this, whether you don't use any of this, whether, like, you name it. Get involved in the chat in the comment section, because I would love to hear if I use other equipment that you don't, or if you use other equipment that I don't. I would love to hear what you kind of guys are using and getting up to, okay? But yeah, it keeps my key dry. From there, I do a lot of filming. I use my GoPro. I'm literally recording it on the latest GoPro, the GoPro Hero 9. Awesome camera, by the way. But for years, I've used my GoPro Hero 6, you know, which is obviously a couple of years down the line. But I've always attached it to this little GoPro floaty device. Fully recommend that, like, get involved in obviously filming yourself. You know, it's a great passion. Share your passion online, and if you do tag us, like tag Recovery Lab UK on Instagram, on Facebook, you name it, just tag us, because we'd love to see your photos, your open water swimming photos and all the rest of it, and we'd like and share them, obviously with your permission. But yeah, it's a brilliant one, because obviously if it does for whatever come out your hand, this whole handle will float your camera up. And with the latest version, I've started sticking this little kind of bike floaty, so you can get a little attachment, stick it in your mouth, and this floats the camera itself. But for me, just being extra precautious, I kind of literally sync it up together like that, and yeah, it keeps it nice and safe, because obviously I don't want to lose my beloved GoPro. Moving on to chamois, kind of neck rash is one of the worst things you will ever experience wearing a wetsuit, you know. If you've ever experienced it because you're new to open water swimming, you're surfing, and you've never known about this type of stuff. For me, example, I never knew anybody that did triathlon open water swimming before I started. So I kind of literally learned the hard way with a lot of things. So I didn't know about this little body glide. I use body glide, and pretty much it's kind of like a white little balm. You roll it on your neck. The best thing to do is literally lather your neck up, because it does make a huge difference. It stops the neck, your wetsuit rubbing the skin off your neck, basically. Allows it to keep nice and dry, allows it to keep nice and lubricated, so it doesn't give you any kind of sores. And if anybody have had any kind of skin sores or chafage, you will know exactly what I'm on about. And there's nothing worse than rubbing the skin off your neck, you know, because you'd be amazed on how much you turn like this and your wetsuit's just rolling like this, back and forth, back and forth. And honestly, it could be a nightmare. Like, so those who've ever seen kind of Ross Edgley with his kind of rhino neck is what he called it, honestly, it looks brutal, and fair play to Ross on how he managed to push through that, because he was trying to find any other way to overcome that, whether it was using duct tape, kind of cutting the wetsuit to take the pressure off his neck. You know, it's absolutely horrific when it actually kind of wears through and all the rest of it. And obviously that takes time. It's not just going to happen the first time. But invest in some good kind of chamois body cream, body glide. Nowadays, most wetsuit companies create their own version. What I would avoid using is kind of Vaselines and stuff like that, because it eats away at the neoprene in your wetsuit and obviously damages your wetsuit over time. Okay, so kind of go either body glide or your wetsuit brand. Okay, I'm really fortunate in regards to the wetsuits I have. This is one of my first wetsuits. It's made by DHB. This wetsuit is literally a entrance level wetsuit. It's a 3-2. By a 3-2 it means the body is 3 mil, the arms and legs are 2 mil. It cost me, what, £89 when I originally bought it. Since then I've kind of upgraded to a more fancier suit, just because how much I was using it, and I kind of wanted the little benefits of getting a better suit, just because of buoyancy, hydrodynamics, and kind of really improve my swim technique through the use of a more advanced suit. Ultimately, wetsuits come down to how much money you're willing to invest in your wetsuit and personal preference, the level of ability, the type of swimmer you already are. That has a lot to do with it as well. If you're naturally a better swimmer, you won't need so much hip buoyancy, you know, because it can alter your swim mechanics and can make it harder for you if you're naturally buoyant already. So if you have any questions about wetsuits, by all means get in touch, and I can quite easily talk to you on a one-to-one basis and give you the advice that you kind of after potentially need, right? And one of the things I used recently is a little adventure light. It's a brilliant piece of equipment, helps you. I do a lot of kind of early morning swims at the moment, so kind of 6 o'clock, sometimes earlier in the morning. And these little lights are a safety tool in regards to, you literally just turn them and they start flashing. If you flip the battery and put it back in, it will stay on a continuous beam, green kind of adventure lights. Basically you put them on the back of your swim cap, clip them onto your goggles in the little belt clip by here, and what it allows you, what allows other people basically see where your head is, okay? So typically in open water swimming we use colour green because it symbolises the head of boats, basically. And obviously if we got it on our head, it means that it's the head of something, you know. So for us, it's not necessarily for us to see in the water, because typically if you swim in the dark and you have tinted goggles like I do, you can't see anything anyway. You can barely see, you know. However, this will allow others to see you, you know, so that's super important. It's also super important that if you are kind of doing this type of stuff, to let your local Coast Guard know. So jump online, have a little look for your local Coast Guard, give them a little ring, let them know when you're planning on swimming, let them know when you're planning on leaving the water, and how long you're roughly going to be in there, how many people are going in there with you. And it just allows them to kind of know that that is there. So if they have any kind of calls from locals that are concerned that there's kind of green dots floating around in the water, they kind of know who it is, and kind of roughly that you're safe and sound. Okay, so that's really important because it saves their time and it could potentially save your life as well. So you got all this equipment, okay, and then last but not least, like I said, this little pig bucket, which was an absolute find, by the way. When I first started, I've got a load of stickers on there now, and I'm slowly trying to build up my sticker collection on the bucket itself. But I got this from Wilko for £1. And before that, I was kind of dumping everything into the boot of my car. And the boot of my car was literally just getting absolutely battered, because obviously I take this wetsuit off, I dump it there, and obviously it was soaking wet, you know. So this allows me to literally dump everything in to the bucket. It keeps all the water in, and then I just kind of come home and shower it off, and so on and so forth, and dry it all out using this. And then it allows me to keep my car nice and clean, roughly tidy. I kind of dump it all in, drag it to the beach or whatever, and then drag it all the way back. So definitely something to probably invest into. It's kind of one of the things that kind of most people don't think about, but they're absolutely brilliant, you know. And for £1 you can't go wrong. Asda's have just started doing their version, so a load of people are kind of buying it from Asda's at the minute. But yeah, have a little shop round, and I'll by all means chuck on some links on this video as well. So to bring it all to a close, these are kind of typically the pieces of equipment that I use on pretty much a daily basis, because I'm swimming pretty much most days. And it's kind of the stuff that I kind of live in, you know. So I'll chuck my wetsuit on, I'll wear my Vivos, I'll put my Dryrobe over the top of me, and I'll just drive to the beach, you know, and jump out, kind of put the arms in, Vaseline the neck, or not Vaseline, body glide the neck, and then kind of good to go, you know. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll chuck all this stuff on the description in the kind of section below, and yeah, if there's any questions in regards to kind of equipment, things that I potentially don't use and why I don't use them, there's kind of no right or wrongs in regards to all this stuff. So hope you enjoyed this video, hope it helps you kind of piece a load of equipment together, especially if you're getting new to the sport and you're kind of just wanting to try. It is a lot of equipment, and potentially an expensive kind of sport to get into, in the sense of if you're doing triathlon, you've got a million things to buy, and I kind of understand that pain, because I've bought a lot of this stuff over years. For years I didn't have gloves or boots, gloves or socks, so you can get by. It all depends on you, you know. I had this basic swimsuit and a wetsuit, and I still wear this wetsuit coaching, you know, and I've had this for about 7 years now. So it's a brilliant suit, and as long as you look after it, you know, and kind of follow the kind of instructions on how to look after your suits and stuff, they're pretty much golden for years to come, you know. And yeah, you know, slowly invest in it, and also shop around. You know, the links I put on will be from the websites themselves, but have a little shop around, check it on Google, because you're going to find a bargain somewhere, okay? But yeah, hope this video has helped you, hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a little thumbs up. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts, your feelings, and your take-home messages from this video. And hit that subscribe button, become a part of our community, because I want to kind of get out informative videos like this to help you guys, to show you how-to videos, technique videos. We've got our kind of daily lively exercise videos from Monday to Friday. Soon we're going to be dropping our watt bike session videos and creating our own very own triathlon club if you want to be a part of that, if you're local. So there it is. Have a little look, let me know your thoughts, your feelings, and I'll see you soon. I hope this video helps you, and yeah, take care.